Hello and welcome, my connoisseurs of movies, TV show, and literature. Are you ready to shake things up? I know I am. And for all my new viewers, welcome. You are here to feast on my opinion. Mine, Loopgaru's opinion of all things movie, TV, and book. And as I do every month, either right before or right after the full moon, we talk about some werewolf media. Now, sacrifice doesn't always mean death. And that is the premise of this particular book. Yes, I am reviewing a manga. First manga on the channel. I mean, I've done graphic novels, but no mangas until now. And this manga is LGBTQ plus friendly. Now, I can hear you guys in the comments right now. Why didn't you do this in June for Pride Month? Two reasons. The first, I didn't get this book from the bookstore until after the full moon. And second is the one I feel is more important. You should be proud of who you are all year long, and the subjects of the specialized months do not disappear just because that month ends. Seriously, women still exist after Women's History Month ends. So, why shouldn't I cover an LGBTQ plus positive manga in August? Fun fact, a different friend of mine reprimanded me on mispronouncing manga. I called it a manga instead of a manga. Now, this awesome book is entitled, Why Don't You Eat Me, My Dear Wolf? And it was written and drawn by Koishikawa. Forgive me, dear soul, if I mispronounce your name. I only see it right here in print. And this book, this manga, follows Taro, who was left in the forest as a child for the forest beast, Yuru. Now, Yuru sees this 5, maybe 6-year-old kid and says to himself, heck no, that is too young for anything. So, Yuru brings Taro home and takes care of him like any good foster parent or guardian. And because Taro was told he was going there to be a sacrifice to the forest beast, he would occasionally ask, when are you going to eat me? Yuru would always answer, very evasively, when you're older. It's such a very abstract, yeah, when you're older. Taro spends years with Yuru, learning music, reading, writing, math, history. You know, everything Taro would need to know to survive as an adult. When Taro enters puberty, Yuru assures him that nothing is wrong and that he's perfectly healthy. The scratchiness and cracking of his voice as it changes octaves while he's singing is going to clear up. He's going to be okay. The problem is that Yuru knows precisely why Taro was sent to him. And it wasn't to be a meal. So you constantly hear Yuro say, whenever Taro is sleeping, I am making it so you can run away from me and have a life that you deserve. Now, one day, nearing the end of winter, a stranger it's not a stranger to Yuru, it's a stranger to Taro, takes up residence with the pair because of a late season snowstorm. And Taro, who snuck out of bed to listen to the adults talk, hears Yuro tell the traveler that the traveler needs to take Taro away. It's still in place that Taro needs to leave. Taro's livid that Yuro had been lying to him about turning him into a meal. So he runs away. Bear in mind, it's in the middle of a snowstorm, and this 18-year-old boy now runs into that storm because the wolf doesn't want to make a meal of him. No. Yuro finds him, rescues him, brings him back, tends to his injuries, and Taro is still so upset with him that he shrieks. If you aren't going to sacrifice him the way he was supposed to be sacrificed, you might as well just kill me now. Which is really sad, and it hurts Yuro to the point where he leaves. Because he doesn't want Turo the way the villagers sent Turo to him. Now, Turo figured, I can get back on Yuru's good side if I find the spirit of spring to bring the forest back to life. He finds the spirit, and that is when Yuro brings Taro to the edge of a human village. While with the humans, Taro uses everything he had been taught for years. Until finally, Taro realizes that as much as he liked being amongst the humans, he missed Yuro more. So, of his own free will, he returns to the forest to be with Yaru. Thus, Taro chose, and yes, I am doing massive spoilers, to be the sacrificial bride of the forest god, the forest beast, forest god, Yuro. Now, the last couple of pages are not kid-friendly, so anything under 16 should not read it. 16 and 17 should read it, preferably after it's been previewed by an adult they trust. Now, when Taru started puberty, he was able to start hearing mating songs of the different beings that lived in the forest. And Yuru would step in to protect Taro. But what's funny is that when Taro came back, the same being that Yuru had protected him from when he was a boy needed Taro to step up and protect himself against. It's really adorable. Now, I can hear some of you, I can hear it. You're telling us he groomed that kid? No. Whenever Yuru was around, he was always in wolf form. He never showed Taro his human side. Because he knew by the old laws of the sacrifice, if Taro saw Yuru as the human, they would have to get married. No ifs, no ands, and no buts. So Yuru made it a point to stay just like this. And whenever the subject of mating and breeding and maturity came up, he was scientific. He was factual. He was age appropriate. This is what they're doing. This is what it's called. When you're older, you'll find somebody and you'll get married and have your own mating rituals and stuff. And that is what makes Yuru a great man. Because he did not force Taro into anything. He deliberately sent his charge away to live and learn amongst his own kind, because he would rather have met his mate and lost them than take his mate by force. So when Taro came back, Yuru knew it was because Taro loved and wanted him for something more than just a friend. And that is when Yuru dropped his wolf guise and showed the fully adult 25-year-old, 26-year-old Taro his human form. It is an awesome read. And it is not a blatant, in your face, this is a homosexual couple, they've been married for decades, in your face, whether you like it or not story. This is a tale about a person who grew up, left, and realized that while he's having his normal life, he is in love with the forest spirit, the forest beast that he had left. But the entire time this child was growing up, it never occurred to him to be anything other than dinner. And that is literally why Yuru wanted Taro to leave. Because so long as Yuru had it in his mind that sacrifice meant he needed to die, he couldn't do that to the poor kid. So he sent Taro away, and Taro listened to all the villagers about the sacrificial bride that had been given to the forest spirit 100 years earlier. You heard me right. 100 years earlier. So Haru is not as young as 25. He just looks 25. Just like Yuru looks to be in his late 20s, early 30s. Now, let me know in the comments below. Have you read it? Will you read it? Will you avoid it like the plague because it is about a homosexual couple? Will you avoid it like the plague because it shows a werewolf as a forest spirit protecting humans from the threats of the forest? Will you read it to see what I'm talking about, how Yuru treats and raises Taro? Will you read it to see what I haven't told you about it? Because I've left out quite a bit of this book. And like all mangas, you start back here and you go forward. Will you read it to see if it will benefit somebody you know? Will you read it to see if it's a good depiction or a good representation of the LGBTQ plus community? Like I said, let me know in the comments below. And remember, these are my opinions. Feel free to disagree. Just remember, kindness is the key to understanding. So be kind to me and be kind to each other in the comments. And you'll rescue the like button from zombies. Yes, you're rescuing the like button this time. And you're tending to whatever injuries the subscribe button has sustained throughout its weeks of being clicked and battered to, oh, I want to subscribe to this. And then ring the bell to get notifications and send the zombies towards the bell as you run to safety in the opposite direction. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.